be touching the aspect of educational planning. I'll give you a rundown of the different types of planning that we have. There are three major types of educational planning. The very first one is the short-term educational planning, which usually runs for a year or less. First is the short-term planning, which usually runs for a year or less. Its main characteristic is it focuses on immediate goals and activities, school staffing, and deals with annual budgets and operations. The second one that we have is the medium-term educational planning, which runs for over 3 to 5 years and links short-term actions to long-term goals. It falls in between. Its main characteristics too is translational planning between policy practice, often aligned with national development plans. And an example of this would be frameworks, teacher training expansions, like the teacher training we have there at My 17. It all runs as a result of the medium short-term planning, which ranges from 3 to 5 years. Another key example of the medium-term educational planning is Cameroon's rolling educational plan under the Education and Training Sector Strategy, ETSS. The third one we'll be mentioning is the long-term educational planning. Long-term planning usually spans from 10 to 20 years. It is strategic and it's visionary. Its core characteristics are it anticipates demographic, economic, and technological changes. Examples of this will be the National Education Vision, which aligns with the SDG goals, that is Sustainable Development, the fourth which is Education 2030, and the Agenda 2063. The fourth kind of educational planning we have is the manpower, that is Human Resource Planning. This type of planning links education to labor market and economical needs. Again, its major characteristics estimate future workforce requirements, guides curriculum and training programs. It also reduces skill mismatch, and some of its weaknesses could be overly economic and may ignore social goals. An example of that would be an expansion of the TVET in institutions in Cameroon to meet industrial and technological demands. Furthermore, I'm going to state the fifth type of planning, which is the social demand planning. Again, this type of planning focuses on public demand for education. Its characteristic will be emphasizing access and enrollment, that is equal education to all, whether rich or poor. The sixth type of educational planning we have is the cost effectiveness, that is in bracket economic training. This type of planning seeks to achieve maximum educational outcomes at minimum cost. That is like providing subsidized textbooks for its students and equally the university funding free education for its students. Added to that, we also have the systems comprehensive planning, participatory educational planning, and lastly, the strategic planning.
Talking about the concept of education administration. Education administration refers to the process of managing and organizing educational institutions such as schools, colleges, and universities to achieve educational goals. It involves planning, organizing, leading, and coordinating resources such as people, finances, and facilities effectively to facilitate quality education. There are some key elements in education administration. Firstly, planning. This involves setting goals and determining the best strategies to achieve them. For example, deciding curriculum focus or resource allocation for upcoming academic year. The second one is organization, structuring personnel, facilities, and activities. It includes establishing administrative hierarchies and defining rules to ensure smooth functioning. The third one is leadership, guiding teachers, students, and staff towards common objectives. Effective leadership motivates staff and creates a positive learning environment.
I'll be talking on contemporary challenges in educational planning, one of which we have inaccurate population data. In the world today, most of the challenges that educational planners have is inaccurate population data. Using Cameroon as an example, is the non-population census was carried out, as a result, inaccurate national demographics. In most cases, data on population is inaccurate due to the reduction in age for female and increase in age for male. As a result, educational planners will not know what material to use, such as textbooks, desks, benches, and teachers that will be able to meet the educational need of all learners. Another challenge is inadequate planning tools such as machine computers. If educational planners do not have these materials that will help to facilitate their planning, it's going to be a huge challenge. As a result, the need will not be met. Moving on, we have other challenges like implementation plans. It hardly gets translated from paper to action. For example, people can come up with the idea and it's greatly accepted, but at the end, they don't put this plan into action. Another point we have is inadequate political will. Educational planning is also obstructed by lack of goodwill of the people in adequate support.
Furthermore, in educational administration, we have the following objective. The first one, which is to improve the quality of education provided, to make the best use of limited resources such as funds and facilities, to create a safe, healthy, and conducive learning environment for all learners, to promote ongoing professional development for teachers and staff, to keep up with the changing of educational needs. The following are the functions of educational administration. The first is curriculum development, designing and implementing curricula that meet educational standards and students' needs. Staff recruitment and supervision, hiring qualified personnel and overseeing that their work goes smoothly. Budgeting and resource allocation, managing financial resources to support educational activities. Students' welfare and discipline, ensuring students' well-being and maintaining discipline to foster a positive learning environment. Levels of educational administration. First, we have the central, which can be classified under the state and district level. The following are the levels of educational administration. The central, which is also known as the state or district level, policy making, funding, and overall oversight of educational standards. The second, which is school level, day-to-day management, including classroom activities, staff supervision, and students' discipline. The next level of educational administration is classroom level. District instruction, engage students and implementing curricula. Moving to the next, we have the importance of educational administration. The first is ensure that educational institutions operate smoothly and effectively. The second is to facilitate the implementation of policies and reforms. The third importance of educational administration is to help in improving students' achievement and overall institutional performance, encouraging innovation and adaptation to societal changes.
Hi, my name is Sujan Francis, and I am going to be talking about the concepts of educational development. So, education is one of the most powerful tools for shaping individuals and societies. It is not only about teaching in classrooms, but also about building systems that help learners grow in knowledge, skills, and values. To understand how education grows and changes, we must look at the idea of educational development. Educational development refers to the process of improving teaching, learning, and the structures that support them, so that learners can achieve better outcomes and societies can progress. It is both a personal journey for students and a collective effort for schools, communities, and nations. Now we are going to move on to look at the definition of some key terms, and the very first term that we are going to begin with is education. According to Britannica 2025, education is a structured way of passing knowledge, skills, and values from one generation to another, usually through schools and other learning environments. And then we are now going to look at the definition of educational development. Educational development is the planned and continuous improvement of teaching, learning, curriculum, and educational systems to meet the needs of learners and society. Now let's continue with some concepts of educational development. The very first concept we have is that of curriculum development. Curriculum development is a central concept in educational development, and it involves designing learning materials, subjects, and teaching methods that match the needs of students. For example, in secondary schools, curriculum planners may include practical science experiments to help learners understand theories better. This shows that development is not only about adding new subjects, but also about making learning more meaningful. We also have teacher professional growth. That is another concept that is worth explaining in educational development. Teachers are the backbone of education. Educational development emphasizes continuous training and support for teachers so they can improve their teaching skills. Workshops, refresher courses, and mentoring programs are examples of how teachers develop professionally. A teacher who learns new strategies for helping students with dyslexia demonstrates how development directly affects learners' success.
Furthermore, I'm going to continue with the concept of educational development. Firstly, we have the integration of technology, which states that modern educational development includes the use of technology to improve learning. Another concept of educational development, we have equity and inclusion. Educational development also focuses on fairness. It ensures that all learners, including those with disabilities, have equal opportunities to succeed. For example, providing extra time in exam for students with dyslexia, or creating inclusive classroom where teachers adapt lessons for different learners' needs reflects development in practice. Another point, we have policy and administration. Policies guide how schools operate. Educational development, creating policies that improve schools, management, teachers, recruitment, and students' welfare. Example, we have when government introduce free secondary education, it expands access and support natural development. In addition, we have student-centered learning. This point states that another concept of shifting from teacher-centered to student-centered learning. This means focusing on learning needs, interests, and abilities. Group discussion, project-based learning, and peer teaching are examples of methods that place students at the center of learning process. Another point, we have lifelong learning. Educational development recognizes that learning does not stop at school. People continue to learn through vocabulary, training, adults, education, and professional courses. This concept prepares individuals to adapt to change in the society and workplace.
We cannot always talk about the pros of educational administration. We also have to talk about the disadvantages of educational administration. And we're going to start with rapid technological advancement. The integration of technology in education requires administrators to provide inadequate infrastructures, training and support. Challenges include limited access to digital tools, lack of technological skills among staff, cybersecurity issues, and resistance to technological adoption. Also, when it comes to advantages, we can look at the inadequate funding and resource management. Many educational institutions struggle with insufficient funding, and institutions must manage limited resources while meeting increasing demands for quality facilities, instructional materials, and staff welfare. Thirdly, we are going to look at teachers' recruitment, retention, and professional development. Attracting and retaining qualified teachers remains a challenge due to low motivation, limited professional growth opportunities. Administrators must ensure continuous training to keep teachers updated with modern teaching methods. Fourthly, the policy changes and government regulations. Frequent changes in educational policies and regulations places pressure on administrators to adapt quickly, ensuring compliance while maintaining institutional stability can be difficult.
Furthermore, I'm going to continue with the concept of educational development. Firstly, we have the integration of technology, which states that modern educational development includes the use of technology to improve learning.
Okay, I'll be talking on contemporary challenges in educational development. We have learning gaps and foundational literacy. Many students struggle with basic reading and mathematics skills, hindering their ability to progress academically. Also, teachers' shortages and training. Inadequate teaching training, low pay, and high workload contribute to teachers' shortages, affecting students' learning. Infrastructure and resource constraints. Many schools lack basic infrastructure, technology, and resources, creating unequal learning environments. We have mental health and well-being. Students face increasing anxiety, depression, and stress requiring more support from schools.
Let's look at the contemporary challenges in educational planning. To begin, planning has been observed as a fundamental requirement for any successful endeavor, whether in the political or socio-economic environment. For this fact, any individual, institution, or country that fails to plan is planning to fail. However, educational planning can be defined as a systematic and a scientific set of decisions for future action with the aim of achieving sets of educational goals and objectives. Educational planning faces a set of challenges which are influenced by socio-economic dynamics. We are going to be looking at one of these challenges, which is inadequate skilled personnel. When we say inadequate skilled personnel, what do we mean? Qualified planners are the most significant resource that can lead to a greater and efficient planning. But inadequate skilled personnel in the planning unit of most ministries of education is a problem. The educational unit lacks specialists such as educational planners, statisticians, programmers, and analysts, which could effectively develop and ensure successful execution of plans.
I'm presenting on the contemporary challenges in educational planning. The first point, which was enumerated, is on inadequate skilled personnel. I'll proceed with the next 3 points. The second being existing educational policies. Educational policies are the frameworks, laws, and strategies that guide how education systems are organized, funded, and delivered. They shape access, quality, equity, and the future readiness of learners. Looking at the challenges, most of educational policies in most African countries, including Cameroon, are based on political patronage rather than technical grounds such as concentration on schools, age, population, location, and size of existing schools, transportation, and other infrastructural facilities. Planning is based on the ideology and the policies of the government, Sometimes such policies are made without giving adequate consideration to their implications. As a result, the planner is often requested to plan on the basis of policies which might be difficult or too expensive to implement under the prevailing circumstances and available resources. To this effect, planners often prepare unrealistic plans or face a situation whereby his plans are rejected by the approving body. This affects planning. The interference of politicians frustrates the efforts of educational planners, which would have brought change desired by the majority of the people. The third point is inadequate funds. Inadequate resources to allocate in various sectors of the economy has made it difficult for educational planners to plan. For instance, in Cameroon, only about 15% of the national budget is allocated to education sector, which has to be distributed to all the three sectors of education. Even within the sector, the funds have to be distributed for infrastructure, teaching and learning materials, salaries of teachers, education. Next point is political instability. Many countries in the world, especially in Africa, has a history of political instability, which has also disrupted the process of planning and the implementation of the educational programs. In Cameroon, for example, the political crisis in the northwest and southwest regions of the country, the Boko Haram in the north disrupted the process of planning and the continuity of educational plans to the extent that some plans that already reached advanced stages had to be abandoned, while others were hurriedly introduced without proper planning.
Closing remarks, we've told what educational planning, development, and administration is, its importance, core strategies, disadvantages, and equally challenges faced by these organizations in an educational setting. Thank you for watching all through.
Thank you for your keen attention.